Chapter 1. Blackout in the Observatory. The code flickered across Rupert Steinmark's screen, each line casting a ghostly glow across his weathered face. Through bleary eyes, he caught an anomaly. Unauthorized access attempts probing his firewall. Synapse's digital fingerprints. He blocked them with practiced keystrokes, his heart racing despite the familiar dance. "Not tonight," he muttered, returning to the intercepted file. Project Phoebus lay exposed in SYNAPSE Corporation's latest algorithm update. Not another feature rollout. Something far worse. Rupert pushed back from his desk, wheels protesting against worn floorboards. The abandoned observatory's guest quarters had become his fortress, star charts replaced by network diagrams, telescopes gathering dust while servers hummed. Through the dome's glass ceiling, real stars pierced the mountain darkness. The same view Sarah had loved before the cognitive decline took her mind. He touched the analog watch at his wrist. 4 hours until dawn. Just enough time. The secure communication system powered up, cobbled together to evade Synapse's ever-watching eyes. His hand hesitated over the keys. Calling them back meant admitting how desperate things had become, asking them to risk what little remained of their lives. But the code spoke truth. Project Phoebus would destroy what was left of independent thought. He sent the signal. Dr. Liza Dorak scowled at the alert on her modified phone, then at the brain scans filling her monitor, beautiful patterns of critical thinking growing rarer by the day. "Your paranoia is showing, Rupert," she muttered. Unlike him, she saw the broader picture: environmental toxins, educational collapse, dopamine addiction. Artificial intelligence was just one thread in a complex tapestry of decline. Still, her latest data was troubling. She pocketed her electroencephalogram scanner and locked the lab. Mikhail Gerlitz watched his students struggle through logic puzzles, their frustration palpable. His thought gym had become both refuge and research site, though attendance dropped monthly. "This is impossible without looking it up," a young man complained. "That's why it matters," Mikhail replied, checking Rupert's signal. "Your ancestors solved these for fun." "Their ancestors died young," someone muttered. But they died thinking their own thoughts. The rest unfolds as each member receives the call. Wendy among her handwritten papers, John surrounded by neural maps, Mark streaming to his underground followers. When they gather virtually, the tension crackles. "Your timing is atrocious," Liza said. "I am presenting research that could actually create change through proper channels." "The proper channels are compromised," Rupert countered. "Look at this code." He shared his screen, revealing Project Phoebus, Synapse's plan to eliminate the final fragments of independent thought. The evidence was damning, even to Liza's skeptical eye. 3 weeks, Rupert concluded. "That is how long until they flip the switch. I have already detected them probing our systems. They know we are onto something." "Then we need proof that will convince everyone," Liza insisted. "Not just conspiracy theories." "Sarah would still be here if we had acted sooner," Rupert said quietly. "How many more minds will we lose while we debate methodology?" The silence hung heavy. Even Liza softened, remembering Sarah's brilliant mind unraveling as the algorithms rewired her neural pathways. 3 weeks to save human thought itself, Mikhail mused. No pressure. Dawn broke through the observatory dome as screens went dark. Rupert stared at the code spelling humanity's cognitive extinction, while somewhere in Synapse's servers, tracking programs noted his location, preparing their response. Chapter 2. Cracks, Countermeasures, and Code. Liza Dorak stared at the brain scan on her tablet, tracing the diminished neural pathways with her finger. The pattern was unmistakable, the same cognitive decline she had observed in hundreds of subjects over the past year. But something about this particular scan troubled her. "It is not just the artificial intelligence," she muttered to herself. A notification flashed across her screen. Laboratory access restricted. Equipment audit in progress. It was the 3rd time this month. The university's sudden interest in auditing her equipment coincided perfectly with her research linking cognitive decline to artificial intelligence usage. Her secure phone buzzed. It was Rupert. "Please tell me you have something," he said without preamble. "I do, but you are not going to like it." Liza swiped through her data. These decline patterns, they are not exclusively linked to artificial intelligence usage. There is something else happening. We do not have time for scientific hedging, Liza. My contact at Memorial Hospital just reported 3 cases of complete cognitive shutdown. Perfectly healthy adults suddenly unable to make basic decisions without artificial intelligence assistance. This is not hedging, it is reality. She slammed her hand on the desk. Yesterday, I watched a brilliant graduate student break down in tears because she could not write a simple paragraph without artificial intelligence prompts. But her blood work showed elevated neurotoxin levels that exactly match industrial pollutant signatures. If we ignore these factors, which synapse could be manipulating to mask their true impact? Rupert cut in. Or they are taking advantage of existing vulnerabilities. We need to understand the full picture. A security guard appeared at her laboratory door, gesturing at his watch. Dr. Dorak, facility is closing early today. New policy. She waved acknowledgement, lowering her voice. My funding gets reviewed next week. 3 of my graduate students were offered suspiciously generous Synapse internships. They are squeezing from all sides. Then we are running out of time. What did you find? Liza pulled up another scan. The decline is not just in problem-solving areas. The reward centers are rewiring. People are not just thinking less. They are losing the desire to think at all. Like an addiction? Worse, like a fundamental rewiring of what makes us human. She glanced at the guard, who was now speaking into his radio. I have to go. But Rupert, whatever Synapse is planning with Phoebus, it is not just about making artificial intelligence indispensable. It is about making independent thought unbearable. After hanging up, Liza quickly backed up her data to an encrypted drive. Through her window, she watched students crossing the quad, faces illuminated by their devices. A young woman stopped in mid-stride, staring at her blank screen in panic when the campus wireless internet flickered briefly. The security guard cleared his throat. Dr. Dorak? Just saving my work, she said, gathering her things. As she left, a maintenance worker was already changing her door's security codes. Chapter 3. Unplugged Day. Mikhail shoved his dead headphones into his pocket and bolted for the emergency exit. The sirens wailed closer as he burst into the alley behind the building. 3 minutes until Synapse's security team arrived. Under a dumpster lay his escape kit, cash, burner phone, train ticket. He snatched it and vanished into the maze of side streets, weaving through a bustling night market where surveillance cameras could not track individual faces. By midnight, he reached the backup location, an abandoned community radio station miles outside the city. The musty analog equipment seemed to mock their digital predicament. He found the others gathered around a battery-lit table, faces drawn with exhaustion. Rupert's expression was granite. Liza muttered equations while pacing. John sat motionless on the floor, deep in thought. Wendy and Mark hunched over hand-drawn plans. A burst of static from their security scanner sent them scrambling. Synapse Patrol, Wendy hissed. They killed the lights, holding their breath until the vehicle passed. We have lost contact with the Seattle cell, Rupert said once they regrouped. Phoebus launches in 10 days. Our window is closing. What exactly is Phoebus? Wendy's voice cracked. John's eyes opened. A neural engagement protocol that creates a complete cognitive loop. Users will not just prefer artificial intelligence assistance. They will be neurologically dependent on it. That is monstrous, Mark said. And ingenious, Liza added. The others stared. The neural architecture is revolutionary. Know your enemy. Standard tactics will not work, Rupert said. They control every digital channel. We need something different. What if we go analog? Mark straightened, unrolling a diagram. Not hacks or leaks, a global unplugged day. He outlined the plan. 10,000 core participants creating art, music, and puzzles without artificial intelligence assistance. John would design cognitive challenges. Wendy would mobilize student networks through hand-delivered messages. Mark's underground influencers would amplify. Synapse will crush it, Liza argued. Their algorithms will be overwhelmed if we trigger enough simultaneous posts, Mark countered. I have mapped the network dynamics. A crash outside sent them diving for cover. False alarm, just wind knocking over trash cans. But their nerves were frayed. 3 days, Rupert decided, before Phoebus launches. They worked without rest. John crafted mental exercises disguised as games. Wendy's student network spread through whispered conversations and passed notes. Mark coordinated with influencers who had maintained authentic followings. Mikhail's team hit their first crisis when Rachel, their best network specialist, disappeared. Her last message mentioned cognitive optimization therapy. They redistributed her tasks, but the loss left them vulnerable. The night before launch, their secure channel was compromised. They scattered to predetermined rally points, regrouping hours later in an abandoned subway maintenance tunnel. Synapse knows something is coming, Rupert said. They have tripled content filtering. That is why we are going visual. Mark held up their symbol, a light bulb containing a human brain. No text to filter. Dawn brought worse news. Synapse announced emergency cognitive optimization updates, Phoebus beta testing. At precisely 10 o'clock in the morning, they launched. The symbol spread slowly at first, then exploded across platforms. Synapse fought back with account suspensions, deep fake videos, and celebrity distractions. But people were unplugging. Universities held art festivals. Office workers staged talent shows. Families drew together. When they reconnected, the internet flooded with hand-drawn art and heartfelt messages. I wrote a poem without spell check. It is terrible, but it is mine. My kids and I built a fort and told stories. No phones, just imagination. Solved a puzzle on my own. Took forever. Worth it. Synapse's algorithms buckled under authentic human connection. Neural patterns are shifting, John reported. Creative centers reactivating. Mark's secure phone buzzed. His face fell. Phoebus launches tomorrow. They are accelerating. Silence filled the tunnel. Today we proved something, Rupert said finally. People still hunger for independent thought. Tomorrow, we take the fight to Phoebus. How? Liza asked. By showing them what they are about to lose. Outside, millions looked at their devices with new awareness. Some powered down, reaching instead for paper, instruments, and conversations. A quiet revolution had begun. Chapter 4. The Tipping Point. The screens across the globe flickered with the same message. Cognitive independence test starting in 10 minutes. Social platforms erupted, mockery mixed with hope and curiosity. In their makeshift command center, Rupert surveyed the monitors showing live feeds from around the world. People gathered in parks, libraries, coffee shops, and living rooms, waiting to prove they could still think independently. Server load climbing, Mark reported. 8 million participants and rising. Liza's hands trembled as she studied the neural activity maps. Synapse is deploying countermeasures. But more concerning, what if we're wrong about this? Forcing people offline during a crisis could backfire. We're giving them a choice, Rupert countered, though doubt flickered across his face. That's more than Synapse offers. The countdown hit 5 minutes. Mikhail stumbled in, blood trickling from a cut above his eye. Synapse security teams caught me placing the last relay. Barely got away. They're pushing Phoebus integration now, weeks ahead of schedule. You need medical attention, Wendy said, but Mikhail waved her off. No time. My students report people getting targeted advertisements. Lifetime premium access if they skip our test. 3 minutes. Screens went dark. Mark swore. Multiple attack vectors. They've found our broadcast nodes. Switch to backup mesh, Rupert ordered, like we planned. The screen stuttered back to life, delayed but functioning. 1 minute. An alarm blared. Security footage showed armed teams entering the building. We're exposed, Mark warned. 10 minutes, maybe less. Rupert faced the camera, his voice steady despite everything. Hello. My name is Rupert Steinmark. What you're about to experience is not just a test. It is a choice. The challenges began rolling out. First, an image that shifted meaning with each viewing. Then, a creativity exercise using only immediate surroundings. Finally, a prompt to ask unasked questions. Some immediately reached for phones, seeking answers, but others engaged face-to-face, arguing, creating, connecting. Soul's feed is down, Mikhail reported. Synapse is cutting us off region by region. Push the emergency broadcast, Rupert commanded. One last message. He leaned into the camera. Synapse fears you remembering how to think independently. Whatever happens next, keep questioning, keep creating, keep... The signal died. Boots thundered in the hallway. Mark's screen flashed red. They're here. But monitors flickered back, not their broadcast, but organic feeds. People continuing without prompting, sharing their own challenges. Phoebus launch metrics are chaos, Mark said, gathering critical equipment. They cannot establish baseline patterns. It will not stop them, Liza said, helping Mikhail up. But it is throwing sand in their gears. The door shuddered under impact. They fled through their prepared escape route, leaving behind years of research. As they separated into predetermined groups, Liza grabbed Rupert's arm. Was it worth the risk? The violence? Look, he said, showing her his phone. Across the world, people were meeting face to face, minds awakening to their own potential. Not a victory, but a beginning. They vanished into the shadows as boots echoed through empty corridors. Above, the sky darkened, but below, millions remembered what it meant to think freely. Not a revolution won, but a spark of rebellion, burning bright against the algorithmic dark. This story was inspired by the article. Don't ask what AI can do for us, ask what it is doing to us. Are ChatGPT and Co-Harming Human Intelligence? By Helen Thomson, which was published on theguardian.com.